I remember the day she left like it was yesterday. It wasn't a loud departure, no shouting or breaking of dishes. It wasn't even dramatic, like you see in the movies. It was just quiet, too quiet. And that's what hurt the most. She stood in the doorway, her bags packed, eyes avoiding mine. I could see it in her face, though, the exhaustion, the defeat, and perhaps a hint of guilt. But all I could manage was a single breath and a silent nod. There was no anger in me, not anymore. She had taken everything with her, the love, the memories, the promises we had made. But the one thing she couldn't take was my pride. And that was something I wasn't ready to lose. I didn't scream, I didn't beg. I didn't even ask why. I knew why, or at least I thought I did. She had found someone else. Maybe she had fallen out of love with me, or maybe she was just tired. It didn't matter. All I knew was that I couldn't fight for someone who had already chosen to leave. So I let her go. I walked out of the room without a word, grabbed my coat, and left. There was no slamming of doors, no confrontation, just a quiet exit. She didn't look back, and neither did I. The first few days were a blur. I didn't sleep much. There was no appetite, just a hollow feeling that I couldn't shake. I spent my nights staring at the ceiling, wondering how everything had unraveled so quickly. I tried to distract myself. Work, the gym, even dating. But nothing felt right. Everyone told me I was handling it well, that I was taking it like a man. But they didn't see the nights when the loneliness crept in, the moments when I caught myself reaching for my phone to text her, only to remember she was gone. I stopped waiting for her to come back. After months of hoping, I finally accepted that she wasn't coming home. She had moved on, and so had I, or at least I told myself I had. By the time the year mark came around, I had stopped checking my phone for any messages from her. I had stopped pretending I was okay, too. I had learned to live with the silence. The hole she left behind was still there, but I had learned to live around it. I wasn't the same man I was when she walked out of that door. I had changed. It was exactly 1 year to the day when it happened. October 9th. I had even written it down in my journal. 1 year. I survived. The sun had already set, and I was in my sweats making dinner with music playing softly in the background. I wasn't thinking about her or about what had happened. Life had gone on. Then came the knock on the door. It wasn't loud, frantic, or urgent. It was hesitant. A soft knock that felt almost too familiar. I froze for a moment. It was late, and no one came by at this hour. My heart raced as I walked to the door, wondering who it could be. And there she was. I didn't recognize her at first. Her hair was longer, messier, and her eyes were swollen as if she had been crying for hours. She was standing there, wrapped in a coat, but still shivering. She looked so small, so vulnerable. For a moment, I couldn't speak. All the memories flooded back, our wedding day, our life together, the first time I saw her smile, and I realized then that I hadn't truly let her go. Not completely. I didn't know where else to go, she said, her voice shaking. My breath caught in my throat. Every memory of her, every moment of our life together hit me like a wave. I didn't know what to say. I stood there silent as the past rushed back, memories playing like a broken record. She stepped forward and I stepped aside, not sure what to do, but unable to turn her away. She sat at the kitchen table, a place that used to feel like home for both of us. I made a mistake, she whispered, looking down at the table. The biggest mistake of my life. I didn't say anything at first. What was there to say? She had made her choices, and I had learned to live without her. But she was sitting there, tears falling from her eyes, and in that moment I wasn't sure if it was forgiveness she was seeking or if it was something more. I thought I wanted something new, she continued, her voice barely audible. I thought I outgrew us, but he wasn't you. No one is. She pulled out a folded piece of paper from her bag. It was worn, the edges frayed, like it had been read 1,000 times. I wrote this 6 months ago, she said, her eyes not meeting mine. I just never had the courage to send it. She unfolded the paper, and it was a letter, a raw, handwritten apology filled with regret, confusion, and sorrow. She talked about sleepless nights, how she still wore my old hoodie, and how she heard my voice in every quiet moment. She spoke about the emptiness she had felt since she left, the loneliness she had been hiding. When I looked up, there were tears rolling down her face. "I know I don't deserve anything," she said, her voice breaking. "I just needed you to know. And if there's even a 1% chance..." She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. I stood there, my heart pounding. A year ago, I would have begged for her to stay. I would have done anything to hear her say those words to me. But now, standing there in the kitchen, I realized something terrifying. I had changed. I had learned to live without her. I had stitched myself back together, scarred but whole. I had grown in ways I didn't even know were possible. And as much as it hurt to admit, I wasn't the same man who had loved her so deeply. She wasn't the same woman who had once been my world. "I don't hate you," I said, my voice steady. She nodded, tears falling, but there was no anger in her eyes. "I forgave you a long time ago," I added, my heart breaking just a little more. "But I'm not the same man anymore, and you're not the same woman. We're strangers now." Her face crumpled as she let out a quiet sob. "I'm sorry," she whispered. I gently placed the letter on the table. "So am I said, my voice almost a whisper. She stood up slowly, like each step weighed 1,000 pounds. She walked to the door, and before she stepped out, she turned to me. "I'll always love you," she said, her voice trembling. I smiled softly, the sting of old wounds still present, but no longer consuming me. "And I'll always remember you," I said. Then she was gone. No promises, no maybe someday, just an ending. Quiet like the way she had left. Not all love stories end in hate. Sometimes they end in silence, in growth, in letting go. I didn't take her back, not because I didn't love her, but because I finally loved myself more. If you've ever been hurt by someone you thought would never leave, hit that subscribe button and share your story in the comments. You're not alone. Real stories, real hearts, and real healing.